Hi, everyone, and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot, or welcome back if you're returning. This is a weekly tarot reading for the sign of Gemini for the week of the 16th through the 22nd. So you're starting out in the Four of Cups. Your obstacle is the Four of Wands, and why this is happening is the Eight of Pentacles. It feels like you're becoming kind of disenchanted with something that you're doing. It seems as though everything is an uphill battle at this time in your life. I feel like you've made a decision to be a new person, start something new in your life after a period of like sadness or heartache. It feels like you've looked at everything that's happened to you and you've tried to figure out what were the lessons for all of these things and how can you move different. And it seems like you're trying really hard to create something for yourself, right? I'm seeing a lot of work going into whatever this is. And maybe you feel like you're being ignored. Maybe you feel as though your day in the sun will never come, is kind of what this is looking like. It feels like you're seeing other people have success in this area of life. Maybe you're doing something that's quite competitive, or you're just looking at other people and feeling like they didn't have all the hurdles that you've had. There's an energy of feeling like a failure, right? But your card for failure is actually in the reverse. It says, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And you have acceptance at the bottom of your deck. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. So with that in the reverse, I really want to challenge you to look at your situation and not feel as though you're failing just because things aren't working out just yet, right? You actually have January for your timing card, and it says happiness and well-being. So if you can stay the course with what you're doing, it looks like in January, the floodgates kind of open up, right? And things get a lot better for you. You got to increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. So something you might want to check in with yourself is like, how long have I been working on this thing, right? Because this looks kind of new. It looks like maybe you took a step back and you were trying to decide if you wanted to continue. And then you just went like full force. Okay, balls to the wall, I'm doing this. And because things aren't happening as quickly as you would expect, you're getting frustrated, right? And that makes sense. But in all honesty, like, how long have you been doing this thing, right? Because in the past, I see the sun in the reverse is kind of what's affecting the situation. And so it feels like you're not getting the exposure or the attention that you feel that you deserve. And you're starting to kind of fall out of love with whatever this is that you're doing. And that's okay, right? It's normal when you're human and you have these expectations of like growth or, progress, and it doesn't feel like you're seeing them. But you just have to keep going. It's almost like this is a test in endurance, right? Because what I'm seeing is the universe is bringing the Five of Cups in the reverse energy for you, and you're in judgment. So it's almost like you're trying to decide if this is even worth your time anymore. Is this something that you want to keep putting energy into? And the universe is asking you the same question, right? Like, are you committed to what you're doing? Or are you looking for something that's just going to take off and give you all these accolades, and then you get very bored and walk away, right? The universe is actually working to align you to something that's going to bring you a lot of joy. So it's very possible that you're not failing, but you're succeeding and finding what doesn't work, right? So I know I said that kind of weird, but that's just what I'm seeing here is like, don't give up, but maybe shift your focus or shift what you're doing, because your advice is the Knight of Cups, and that's coming out in the reverse, right? So if you're doing something and it doesn't feel good to you, and then you're upset that it's not working, instead of being upset, be glad, because it's like, why would you want to keep doing something that does not feel good, right? I feel like what you want is coming. It might just be that you're a little bit not into what you're doing, and because of that, the universe isn't opening the floodgates of abundance for you at this time, because it doesn't want to reinforce you doing something that's not bringing you joy, right? If you feel like you're being ignored by your superiors, or if you feel like you're putting things out into the world and people aren't paying attention to those things, it's very possible that that's happening so that you have time to figure out what your purpose is. Because with judgment, I feel like that's really where you're at, is trying to figure out, like, why am I here? What is the point of my existence? What is my contribution supposed to be to the world, right? And it feels like every avenue you're exploring, you're kind of being met with, maybe initial success or a little bit of happiness, but then it feels like very quickly that feeling dissipates. And so what I'll say about that is that when you find the right thing, even on the days that you're not receiving like accolades, you're still going to love doing it, right? So just stay the course. Don't give up. You're not failing, right? You don't need to accept defeat. It looks like you will see a lot of positivity in your life come January. And you also got new home, new attitude. So that kind of is talking about, like, with this Three of Swords I saw, where you went through this heartache or this ending and you're like, I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to do all these things. You want something beautiful for yourself, but do you still carry the sun in the reverse attitude of like doom and gloom, where it's like, man, nothing works out, nothing ever works, this is how it always goes, right? Like in the Bible, it talks about how you can't pour new wine into an old wineskin, because it'll actually rupture, right? It'll break and you'll lose your wine. So it's very possible that you may need to reframe like your attitude, yourself, your vision, so that you can receive all these great things, right? It's like you're not emotionally there yet, right? Maybe you're still living in this like feeling of failure or thinking about the things that didn't work and looking at this as evidence of why you're a failure, when in fact you're not, right? You just need to kind of pour out some of those old ideas about yourself and what you're capable of, and you'll see a very dramatic shift, right? I would try a couple different ways of whatever it is you're doing, right? Or a couple different things along the lines of what you're doing, and just enjoy the process, right? I know that's hard when it feels like you're not seeing tangible results. Your oracle card says you are special, the most special you this world is ever going to see. Follow your bliss, walk your own path, and let your special talent shine bright for everyone to see. Bottom of the deck, take in everything life has to offer, the happy and the sad. Trust that you are always where you should be, and you are given the lessons you need to move forward. All right, Gemini, this has been your weekly reading, and I will speak to you again soon. But in the meantime, you take very good care of yourselves. Bye.